Hello. I would like to start out by asking you a profound question. How many veterans being homeless in the streets after they come back for war is an acceptable number? According to Veterans Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping combat the veterans housing crisis, it is estimated that 120,000 veterans are homeless in America at any given point in time. How many of us know a veteran, whether it be a spouse, a family member, a friend, or just an acquaintance? Did you know that they are twice as likely to become homeless than you are? Imagine thinking about a veteran who has served in a combat zone, who has seen some of the most horrific events that a person should see, living in such despair that eventually a donation of a box of laundry detergent could bring them to tears. I am a spouse of a veteran who is disabled and suffers from injuries sustained in OEF-OIF. For those of you who don't know, OEF-OIF stands for Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom. It was intended to combat the war on terrorism. While going through boarding processes and disability rating processes for my wife, I watched in so many circumstances where her life could have been completely derailed, never to recover without someone in her corner. I've had multiple conversations with staff and administration with the VA, and most agree, without the support structure that my wife had, she would have become homeless. According to Veterans Inc., a veteran coming home from war is twice as likely to become chronically homeless than the average American. With all that is available to veterans, how can veterans be homeless in this day and age, we ask? We think that they are magically taken care of because of the opportunities to the VA and its benefits. But in all actuality, it factors down to a few key items: support, disabilities, and transferable skills. While we can't fix veterans' homelessness in this country, one way we can help out in our local community is by donating to the Veterans Assistance Foundation in Toma. It is said by the Department of Veterans Affairs, as well as a congressional research project done from 2005 to 2006, that what works best is, quote, working with a community-based nonprofit organizations, unquote, such as the Veterans Assistance Foundation. The Veterans Assistance Foundation is extremely careful with funding that is donated to their organization, with 90% of those donations going directly to the veterans or their programs for veterans. The current director of the Veterans Assistance Foundation, Chris Hansen, is a well-established member of the community, the former director of the Toma Area Chamber of Commerce, a board member of the Sparta American Legion, and a multi-tour veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. Currently, the Veterans Assistance Foundation purchased a local property on Superior Street in Toma. Already, they have made a coffee shop to help with transition of veterans into a normal work environment, as well as a used clothing retail shop to help employ veterans in need of work. The Veterans Assistance Foundation has also almost completed our process of building housing units in the hopes of keeping veterans off the streets as winter weather approaches. How helpful is it to homeless veterans in this community that they have a place that they can turn to that is run by veterans, their peers, to help them reestablish life after all that they have had to endure? Organizations always ask for money, and we know that not everyone can just write a check for $1,000. But what about giving a few hours of time to help with one of the many projects or programs that they have? What about donating clothing that we take for granted or we're no longer in need of? These veterans may be left with nothing due to their circumstances. While it's unbelievable in this day and age, even donating shirts or pants can dramatically impact a veteran's life. But there is also another way to give back: sharing. What if when you go to the grocery store, you pick up an extra box of laundry detergent or body wash? Those items are in need of donation as well and are often overlooked, as it is somehow seen as not having a big impact. But it does. As you can see, there are many ways to give back to those who have given so much by getting involved in some way, shape, or form, that although may not solve the entire problem, can have a huge impact on individual lives. But what if we can imagine time and place in which these warriors who have given so much can finally come home in peace and focus on rebuilding their lives that were drastically altered? Whether it be shelters that are being built to help those veterans establish housing that will allow them to feel comfortable and establish themselves, or in the case of other things that the Veterans Assistance Foundation is doing, employability skills that help those veterans transfer from their military careers into the job market. Or just a moment or two, let's that allows us for these service members to relieve the weight of the world off their shoulders by taking in a Brewers game or an EAA fly-in. This foundation does give back so much to the members of the community who have sacrificed so much for us. While the rate of homelessness of veterans in this country seems so overwhelming, there is so much that we can do, even if it's just a small amount. And every life that we change can impact so many more. The Veterans Assistance Foundation is one of the places these gifts, large and small, can come together in one place and make a huge impact on the homeless or needy veterans' life in the Cooley region. If you would like more information on how to get involved or how to donate, please go to vafvets.org. Thank you.